that you came up from the field, man, this shit get real. Bitch, I'm posted on the K, where the poster to the say. All the children we don't play, from the kids to the most, you know they fucking with the bros. We got bodies on the tracks, with no smoking effects, yeah. You're the land, what I'm yelling for my brother. Can't believe they took him under. I'ma do this for your family and your mother, ain't no other. I'ma take them out the pain and the suffer, goddamn, I'm back. With the shit to get them jumping, I pop up, they running. I can kill them, it ain't nothing, but I'm focused steady stunting on the grind and make me something miss. Well, I feel to the death to me, and not about you motherfuckers not to mess with me. HK with the seat.
We'd like to thank Hooligan Zoo Crew for their hit single Wide Field off the debut album From the Outside Looking In. That album is available now, and you can find it on Amazon, Spotify, and iTunes.com.
What's going on, everybody? RWT family, SMR podcast listeners, brand new edition of the SMR News. Got a whole lot of news. I'm not alone when I do the news. Well, most of the time. Well, sometimes. Whatever. Point is, I'm not alone tonight. I'm joined by the one, the only Paul Morales. What's up, Paul?
What is up, Mr. Moses Marquez? How you be this evening?
Icebee's busy. We just legit got done making an entire list of all the news that's gone down around the wrestling world, because that's what the SMR Podcast Network News is all about. The SMR News, for short, is all about. So we're going to cover everything. There we got some WWE news, we got some NXT news, we got some AEW news, Ring of Honor, PWG, TNA, Hall of Fame, all kinds. Am I missing? Oh, XFL. Fuck, are we missing anything? We might as well cover the goddamn Olympics while we're at it with all the goddamn shit.
You know what? We might as well do that too, because they may actually move them, which is a very slight rumor. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying that it could be a slight possibility.
Slight possibility indeed. So let's get right into this news. And the biggest news that's it was dropped a few days ago, but it's still lingering on people's tongues. Everybody's planning the trips now. For those who live in California are like, I'm planning my drive now is what it is. I'm one of them. I'm hoping to make this my first WrestleMania, so let's make it happen. WWE is going Hollywood in 2020. They are going to be they're going to be, well, no, this is like the first time they've been in California in fucking years. I can't even remember. No, hold on. Let me try to remember. I want to say 2000. Is it 2001, 2000? There was one at the Staples Center when I was in high school. That's all I'm trying to remember.
WrestleMania 21 was actually the last time that they were here. So
that was 2004?
Yeah, 2004 was the last time that they were here.
Damn.
16 years ago.
16 son of a gun years ago. Anyway, they're coming back. They're going to be at the SoFi Stadium, the newly built
SoFi Stadium.
SoFi, whatever. SoFi, well, that might actually
this ain't a suplex.
Oh, yeah, the suplex fight. Anyway, SoFi Stadium, shared by the LA Rams and the LA Chargers. This stadium, I think, fits like 80,000 people or something like that. 90,000?
It's going to fit a lot of people, and that's going to be one record to break. There's going to be quite a few concerts, and one Taylor Swift is actually opening up the venue, I believe, in sometime in July. She's opening up. She's going to be the first musical act there. And the first game that will actually be played there will be a preseason game between the Rams and somebody.
Lame. Hoping to be the Chargers. But it's all good. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I'm excited. So without taking too much time, are you planning on going? I think you had mentioned that you had been to past WrestleManias. So we mentioned the last WrestleMania that was here at the Staples Center. And I was supposed to go that day. I kid you not. I had plans. I already had my plans in place. And they got fucking derailed. 2 days before the show, they got derailed. Because the money I needed, I had to do something else with it. I had a friend of mine that was like, dude, I got the money, blah, blah, blah. Here, just take it, blah, blah, blah. Pay me back when you can. I was like, okay. Had the money in hand. I had my tickets all
I had the dude that was going to get me the tickets, and then something else came up, and I had to, I had to break that one up.
Family over pleasure sometimes.
But that would have been my chance to see Eddie Guerrero, and that was something that still kills me today, dude. I wanted to see Eddie Guerrero, and that was probably the one stage that I wanted to see it on.
This is where the infamous hug happened, right? Huh? Between him and Chris.
Yeah,
I would have loved that moment.
Oh yeah, but anyways, so for this one, it is not going to be in April like it usually is. Why, might you ask? Well, because April 4th next year is actually Easter Sunday.
Nope, can't do that.
So you can't do that. So they moved it to 1 week earlier, which is March 28th, 2021, which is why they moved it. And one of the matches that was actually scheduled that is actually rumored, one Roman Reigns actually said he would like to face his cousin, The Rock, who secretly retired, I believe it was 2 years ago, a year ago or 2 years ago. He secretly retired after his last match in WWE. Didn't tell nobody, of course, as they say, it's secret.
Didn't he say it on a talk show?
Yeah, but that was earlier or late last year. But, as they say, money talks, bullshits, all the other stuff.
I hear you. So, besides WrestleMania, there's always one big thing that coincides with it, and that's the Hall of Fame. This year's Hall of Fame, we already have a few inductees named, but now there's a couple of other ones that are, well, one of them is awesome, and some people are like, but why? And then there's the other inductee, and I'm just gonna let you take care of that.
Okay, well, we got word that the Bella Twins will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame along with Batista and the NWO. Sorry, my bad. Right. I had a brain fart right there. I was like, I'm looking right at it, and I'm like, I was gonna say the Wolfpack like a dumbass.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, and one of the rumored inductees is none other than the recently retired Jushin Thunder Liger.
Now, see, I love that. And everybody's like, but why? I'm like, well, first off, that guy is a fucking pioneer in this business, okay? You got to give people their dues, especially when they would such a giant impact of one Jushin Thunder Liger. For crying out loud, he made an impact in the fucking retro show that we're watching now, and that was back in 1996. And he was wrestling before then. So, I mean, I'm excited. I hope it's for real. I hope he's inducted. That would be awesome. There are some people, though, that are like, but why? What did he do? But why? What did he do? Shut the hell up and let it happen.
Well, I can tell you why. Because many of the wrestlers who came up into WWE, not only WWE, but the NWA and WCW, all had some sort of connection with Jushin, and they also wrestled him in other organizations, including one AJ Styles, who also wrestled him in TNA, who also wrestled him in New Japan. So Finn Balor, another person who also wrestled him too. So we talk about all these different guys who are in the company who have in some way, some form or another, either used his moves or have wrestled him.
Pay the man his due.
And pay the man his due. He's well deserving of it.
Well deserving of it, exactly. So you know what? I'm all about it. I hope he actually makes it. But let's keep pushing on here. Let's go from an icon to a guy that probably in like the next 5 to 6 years will be just that. He's going to be an icon, whether we like it or not. And that's one John Cena. But before he does that, him in his very short shorts and his dad haircut and his overly cut, but I'm yet very muscular body is going to be coming back to the WWE on SmackDown February 28th, the day after Super Showdown. I'm sorry, I'm looking at John right now. There's this picture that's going all over the fucking internet. He's standing next to some dude. I don't know who the fuck this dude is. And he's got on like the dad shorts like that your dad wore in like the 90s where like more than half your thigh is showing. You know what I'm saying? And then he's got this polo shirt, right? And it's fucking tucked in.
That's John Cena?
Oh, I'm 100% sure it's John Cena. You can't.
So you see him?
There's like a weird reflection in the light, and the camera flash is perfect. So it's a rare occasion. I mean, the face is blurry, but trust me, he looks like a gigantic man child. So that's John Cena. But he's going to be coming back, so I don't know what all that means. There's a lot of rumors going around about him maybe going to like NXT and doing a match with, say, maybe like Velveteen Dream or something. I kind of like that idea. I don't know what else John would do at WrestleMania. Now, I hear a lot of rumors of Sting. Okay, I hear a lot of rumors of Sting. And that's like Sting versus Undertaker. That, you know, the match we've all been wanting for a long time. Maybe it's Icon versus Icon, if you will, quote unquote. Sting versus John Cena. I mean, if you're going to work with it, like you and I were just talking about pre-tape, if you're going to work with a safer dude, who better than Taker? Who better than John?
And John is safe. I don't care how. I mean, as much as people hate him and as much as people hate on him, dude is safer in the ring than a lot of wrestlers today. I mean, he will take it. He's more protective of a lot of the older people that he's worked with, including one Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, big time. That's another dude that's possibility of returning. I'm hearing that his fucking name with Super Showdown. So I mean, God only knows what's going on. Like, names are just popping up.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and including the same rumor that you just put out there for John Cena and one Goldberg.
Ah, that's right, Goldberg as well. I'm already hearing. I read on Sportskeeda that according to some rumors, quote unquote, Bray Wyatt says he's willing to drop that belt to Goldberg, and I'm like, why? Like,
because I think what it is. For me, it gives him that credibility, and I know people will probably be like, well, how do you get credibility by dropping the title? Because he could just as easily as he lost it, he could beat him for it. And we've all had Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, yeah, Bray Wyatt. We'll just call it what it is. I mean, he's paid his dues for so many years and went through the Wyatt family and never had anything to show for it. And now that he's this likable character that, I mean, not that nobody liked Bray Wyatt. I mean, they just didn't utilize him right. At least I don't think Vince utilized him right.
Not at all. And now that they have the opportunity to do so, it's, I don't know. Well, it's, everything seems to be just, it's like left turn. It's finally keeping us on our toes. Like I said, some people are disgusted at the idea, others not so much. So we'll see. But again, to keeping on, from to quote Joe Dirt, if I can, WWE made an announcement that they had began to train a possible future fourth generation superstar in one Simone Johnson, the daughter of The Rock, who, and God bless her, just like Charlotte, Jesus Christ, do you look like your dad? And that's, and again, with all love and respect,
it was like, Patooey, daughter.
Fucking A.
Patooey. Looks like dad.
Dude, seriously. But I mean, hey, you know, whatever. I'm not saying nothing. But the thing is a lot of people are talking about it, and High Chief Peter Maivia, he was great for his time. And then we had the late great Soul Man Rocky Johnson, who was a great of his time. I mean, in some aspects, so was Peter Maivia. The man ran a territory, for crying out loud. Like, you didn't go to his area without having to deal with him. So, but then of course, then you had The Rock, and then that's what everybody wants to compare, because The Rock is the guy that he hit the ceiling. He broke through the glass ceiling and set a new record. Like, this is where you should be. This is the new barrier. And I don't know if that's gonna really work for her. I hope they don't push her too fast, expecting her to be The Rock, because there's one thing that everybody in this world should understand, and that is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The reason he was so good at this thing called professional wrestling, he was a fucking natural, okay? He was over-the-top charismatic from the day he walked in the door, over-the-top athletic from the day he walked in the door, and all he did was learn. And learn and learn and learn and learn. And when he was great, he still was learning and learning and learning. And when he got even better, he was still learning and learning and learning. So I'm excited to see what goes down. The fact of the matter is, she's 18. This one hell of an 18th birthday. I don't think it was her actual birthday present, but one hell of an 18th birthday present. How do you feel about this thing? Are you afraid of the overall extra push with the name Johnson at the end of it?
It's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to believe that they're not going to give her the opportunity. You're not asking this girl to go out there and perform at Charlotte's level. Is like, you're not going to ask her to go out there and do that. You're not. You look at how long Charlotte has been wrestling. It hasn't been that long. It hasn't. She didn't start till her early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she's been like this, the champion she is now, You're asking Simone to come in, trying her best to get to a level, do the work, and she knows it's going to be hard. Of course she knows. She knows the lineage that she has to follow. It's the same as Charlotte. She knows what she had to follow, but she busted her ass to get to where she's at. And I'm giving Ashley all the props in the world. Sorry, Charlotte.
No, you're shooting at the world over here.
Yeah, so it's like you're trying to get this girl, into her foot in the door, and what she does with it is up to her. And it's exactly what happened with Charlotte. Charlotte had to get her foot in the door. She started training. She started doing what she was doing, and before long, it's like Vince pushed her to be like her dad. He didn't need to. He could have kept her doing a lot of the things that her dad did. Her dad was all about the company. Mm-hmm. I did what was best for the company. Yes, I'm a 16 time plus champion, but I did for my company. He did. Look at the times in between to where he wasn't a champion. Mm-hmm. He was trying for the U.S. title. He was trying to be a tag team champion. He wanted to go back and forth, and even though he was out of the title picture, but he was never really far from the title picture. You get me?
No, I get you.
Okay, so I'm just hoping that they do something with Simone. I didn't mean to get long-winded right there, but I'm really, really hoping that they allow her to progress and get some experience in.
Agreed, and that's exactly the point of this here, is help mold her. For those of you who remember how Nia Jax came up, everybody knew of a cousin of The Rock was signed. A cousin of The Rock was signed. Nobody knew who. And then people found out her name, and everybody searched. And you know where they found her? Doing fucking dark matches. Training her ass off. That's how you build him. You let them grow in the back, and then when it's time to bring them out, you bring them out. If they flounder, hey. If they flourish, fuck yeah. But, you know, in this instance, make sure she takes her bumps. You know what I mean? I don't mean that like, oh, well, you got to make sure to bump. It's like, what I mean is be over prepared for her. Maybe she is a natural like her dad.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And speaking of her dad, The Rock. Well, at the time his name was what? Dwayne Johnson. And on one of our episodes of the Retro Rewind, I actually mentioned the fact that he was in a dark match against one of the Body Donnas.
That's right. He was on his way up through the wrestling world. So let's get into some more news. We got just a couple more things here from one more WWE and then something a little special from NXT. So a little bit of maybe a spoiler, maybe not a spoiler. Earlier today, the Wells Fargo Center Twitter account actually had posted the headline match for the Elimination Chamber, which takes place March the 8th. And the participants go as follows. This is what it said in the listing as of right now. So it's Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, King Corbin, and Robert Roode. It's an interesting group of dudes.
It is very interesting. I mean, for that group, anyway.
I'm thinking this is your push towards Mania. You coming out on top of this is helping you build towards Mania. It's more than likely that the winner of whatever match goes down. Oh, sorry, the Bray Wyatt Goldberg match goes down. The winner is gonna, from this is gonna take on Bray at Mania. So
we already know. Drew McIntyre said he's taking on Brock Lesnar. So exactly. He wanted him. He called him out, and he said if he won, even before on an episode of Raw, he said if he won, he wanted Brock Lesnar. He didn't want Bray Wyatt. He wanted Brock Lesnar. So he won. That's who he chose. So now we just need to find out who's facing Bray Wyatt. I really
hope Robert Roode doesn't stay in this fucking match. I really hope it turns out to be like a Samoa. No, Samoa Joe's not on SmackDown. Shit, I got nothing.
Somebody.
I mean, just playing.
Roman Reigns?
Don't put Edge in this fucking match. I'm just joking.
No, because Edge. I don't know. Is Edge? No, because Edge is supposed to take on Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
That's the overall plan right now. So yeah. What I'm hearing is it's maybe a career versus career kind of match. But I don't know if they'll go that far because they always like to bring guys back.
I don't think they're going to go that far because I know they want Edge. I mean, you have Edge for 3 years. You have a good 3-year deal on him. He's not wrestling all that often. He's not doing any house shows. He's basically doing your pay-per-views, a few, showing up on Raw, performing, and I'm hoping they do something good with him on there. That's what I want.
I dig it. Okay, so let's get into the last little bit here, and that is a little bit of NXT news. The former El Hijo del Fantasma is set to make his NXT debut this coming weekend. And I want to say somewhere in Florida. I can't remember where they're doing this. Tampa, Florida? Sure, let's go with Tampa, Florida. That's probably wrong. But that's the only... Nope, here it goes. Bam. Fort Pierce, Florida, this Saturday. So he's going to be debuting... I guess they're just going to go off of his real name, which is Jorge Bali. So we'll see how that goes. But he posted to his Twitter, finally, I get to, make my debut. Hashtag NXT, blah, 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 the whole stuff. He's going to be teaming with Raul Mendoza to take on God only knows who. And then it also is revealed that, I guess at a similar house show to this, or at a similar house show in Tampa 2 years ago, is when Tino Sampatelli tore his pec. So I was like, okay, well, that was tidbit of interesting. Speaking of Tito, it looks like he's ready to come back, and a lot of people think he's gonna maybe show up tomorrow at SmackDown and ruin my man Otis's fucking date. And if he does that, I'll kick his fucking ass with him and his 15 abs. I don't give a shit. You fucking leave Otis alone, goddamn. I don't give a fuck that's your real life girlfriend. You let my big man have it, goddamn it.
You let my man, my big healthy man, have it.
Fuck. Don't get jumped by Tucker and me, dude. We'll whoop your ass.
Yeah, he'll whip your ass.
I'm not playing this shit, dude.
Don't be getting in front of don't be getting in front of Otis and his meat.
The meat, baby.
His candy.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun in WWE NXT talk. Let's get into some Impact stuff before we jump into some ROH. What do you got for me on the Impact spectrum?
Oh, yeah. This week on Impact, of course, we got to see when Taya Valkyrie actually lose her title she was defeated by Jordan Grace.
It's Johnny Mundo's wife, or John Morrison's wife, yeah?
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because someone actually posted the rumor on Twitter that they actually asked her if she was leaving, if she was going to leave to go to WWE because her husband is there. She said, I have no intention of leaving. She said, but if given the opportunity to be closer to her husband, she said she would take the opportunity. But there is nothing set in stone. So, where should we put that at?
She's going to be in limbo. I don't know if she's going to be welcome back to Mexico.
You know what? She just ended a 377-day reign as Knockouts champion, which is now the longest championship reign in Impact history.
Goddamn. Well, I mean, I'm guessing she beat a Gail Kim record.
Gail Kim actually has a short record. She actually has 7 title reigns.
Wow.
As Knockouts champion. And one of her shortest ones is actually 25 hours, which is about a few hours longer than Kane's shortest reign as heavyweight champion, world heavyweight champion.
Nice.
So, okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, no, let's keep on with the Impact. I know there's gotta be. Was that pretty much it for Impact?
Oh, that's the biggest one that I had because that was actually on a taped episode of Impact Impact on Access TV. They did not do a live show this week. It was actually taped in, I want to say it was in Mexico, but Don't quote me on that. Was it in Mexico?
Yes. Yes, it was. That's right. When this went down, this was also around the same time that Conan was out there for the whole thing, and he got assaulted.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it was during that time. So, that's it for Impact. I will have more eventually when something else does happen on Impact. But this was the biggest one because Taya Valkyrie, of course, like I said, ended her a little more than a year-long reign as Knockouts champion.
I dig it. So I want to jump back a little bit. I'm going to there was some AEW stuff I wanted to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about is got to be the Nightmare Collective. 95% of you guys know. I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm a fucking fanboy or whatever of the F4W site, and they do a live show fucking every day actually, and I pretty much listen to them while I'm at work. And during this time, they had Brandy on for pretty much the entire show. And she was talking about, her journey through the business and how she was, going to be, how she gave up modeling to do this and she was never going to go anywhere and blah, 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 blah. And, well, long story short, to get to the Nightmare Collective, in her own words, it was an idea that they weren't even behind to begin with. Awesome Kong was like, I guess, and then Brandy was behind it, and then they, recruited somebody, and they're like, okay, well, then we got this person and that. Okay, well, yeah. They started to get a little bit of steam. But then even the people in the act knew fuck, this isn't going to go anywhere. This isn't going to work that well. And then when the idea came up of the lashings, and, well, it was the lashings was part of it, but the biggest part of it was contract obligations for Awesome Kong. For those of you who know that she was actually written off TV, I want to say 2 weeks ago, where Mel actually had turned on her and, beat her senseless, left her laying in the whole nine, kind of leaving the Nightmare Collective in a bit of disarray. So she, now that Awesome Kong is injured, she's gone, so now she's going to go film Glow, which is fine with me because I actually really like that series. And with that being said, after this time, now Brandy's in limbo, and the idea of the lashings comes about, and the tear-jerking moment that was Brandy Rhodes walking that ramp as a absolute beyond concerned wife for her husband's well-being, and telling her that they're going to get through this together, and if she could do it, she would. I know it brought a tear to my eye. I'm sure it brought a tear to your eye. It was one of those moments in wrestling that we're going to remember forever. And mind you, AEW hasn't been around a half a year.
Yeah, they've already played with our heartstrings quite a few times. One of them already being the brothers, both Rhodes brothers.
Such a good moment
in the ring. I need my brother. I love my brother. I need you there. Kind of playing. Stop it. Kind of playing. On his dad's thing with his with Dustin. And they played our heartstrings not just once but twice, and it's good. That's what wrestling should be about. It's about the highs and the lows, and we get the good with the bad. Unfortunately, we have another company who doesn't seem to think that way. I get it. You want to go outside the box. You don't want to do that anymore because that's not you. But to a lot of wrestling fans, that's what we want to see. We want to see something different. We want to see something genuine, but we also want to see something with action. And that's what the difference between, what we see in that other company and AEW.
Oh, yeah. Big time, brother, man. Big time. So, got one more piece of AEW news here, and we'll go into detail about it when we do in the Mo and the Dead Man, dropping on Mondays. Back to its normal or Tuesdays, I should say. It's official new goddamn time. I don't give a shit what anybody says, okay? It's officially going back to fucking Tuesdays because it's the best preview thing around. That's how it's going to be. Anyway, so the other thing I got here is the debut of one awesome man, the former Matanza Cueto, Jeff Cobb, debuting in AEW. Now, again, I'm not going to go into what happened. Just know that he was Jericho's bounty hunter. That's exactly how he was called. He was called a bounty hunter by Chris Jericho. And after looking into this, for those of you who follow, the big name indie guys and their contract situations, his contract is up. He no longer has a contract with Ring of Honor. He is, however, working dates for Ring of Honor. He will maintain working said dates for Ring of Honor, but he's able to sign with whomever he pleases. So this does not mean he has signed a contract. As of right now, he is currently signing on a per date basis. So the idea is you come out here, you make an impact this week. I think next week he's got a match, and then if he decides to sign, great. If he doesn't, I'm pretty sure we'll see him in the upcoming G1 or something. So
I'm hoping he gets into the G1 because he's an awesome worker. So I would like to see him there. Of course, then again, I'd also like to see him go back. I mean, he is with ROH, but I would like to see him, do something more with him.
Agreed. I was thinking he was going to go to WWE,
I
but
don't mean to backtrack real quick, but
Go ahead.
there was one more rumored name to possibly be thrown into the Hall of Fame, and that was one Christian.
why?
Well, because they may actually put him. Okay, back on February 5th, WWE filed for two new trademarks, one being Christian, the other one being the Texas Rattlesnake, which we already know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, more or less, they do it for merchandise purposes because apparently that's what they're going to do. I'm guessing who is also Christian, who is also under contract with WWE, may actually not only play a part in the current storyline between Edge and Christian, but they may actually involve him to the point to where he may actually be considered for the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying it could be a possibility.
I dig it. One guy that should be fucking a possibility is Vader. God damn it.
Oh, jeez. Why you're going to keep doing that?
Forever.
Yes, I say Vader deserves to be in there. You know, before he gained some of the weight that he did before he ended up retiring somewhat from wrestling, he was a very, very agile big man, much like one Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah, big times. Okay, so let's get into some Ring of Honor stuff. And for Ring of Honor, well, they're going to be replacing their women's championship. Following the departure of champion Kelly Klein at the end of this year, ROH has revealed how they're handling their women's title situation. A tournament to crown a new champion will begin at the Quest for Gold in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Friday, April 24th. A show taking place at the 2300 Arena will feature 8 first-round matches in this tournament. The winner of the tournament will receive an ROH Women's Championship with title that's going to eventually replace the Women of Honor Championship. So it's just going to be the Women's Championship.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Women of Honor's title no more. It is now going to be renamed the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. It's funny because I think of this and, you know, Kelly Klein never dropped the title before she left. Kind of reminds me of somebody by the name of Alondra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa.
Oh, yeah, she drops it all right.
But she drops it all right, but she drops it inside of a trash can on an episode of Monday Nitro.
Which we'll be reviewing soon, by the way.
And it's interesting because at the time, Vince McMahon didn't really think that anybody was interested in any of the women's matches. So instead of you know, her dropping the title to somebody, he just let her go as a free agent and just said, okay, go. But she never returned the title. To which case, the very next night after she was done with her contract, she ended up showing up on Monday Night Nitro. She actually called Eric Bischoff the night of that after that day and said, I'm going to show up on your show, which is coincidentally was taped the same night that she dropped it into the trash can.
Oh, yeah. So we're speaking of titles. Well, real quick, you're a little bit more up, I guess, today with Ring of Honor than I would be. Is there anybody in that division you feel like could immediately jump forward and win that belt?
You know what? The one thing is that they're actually bringing in new talent, and you know if there is 8 matches, that means there's 16 women. If you look at their roster, it's interesting how many of the women who are there, and I can't really give you names off the top of my head because they're Angelina Love is there. They had their I want to say not Mandy Rose. Good Lord, Jenny Rose was another name that was there. But many of these girls, Taylor Hendricks is another girl who is also there. But I'm guessing that they're gonna bring in maybe some women from if ROH is looking to expand, if ROH is looking to bring in many of the women that have not been featured in ROH, I'm gonna guess that they're gonna go to their partner AAA. I'm gonna guess that they may actually go to Shine. I'm gonna guess that they may actually go to somewhere in Japan, maybe to one of the other competitors. They may actually join in with the NWA, who they have a working relationship with.
You never know.
So we may see the likes of Thunder Rosa over there, Melina. You know, we never know, including their former champion, Sienna. So we don't know. But by the way, speaking of Thunder Rosa, that I actually mentioned her, Melina and her wise ass little self decided to challenge Thunder Rosa, who just recently won the NWA Women's World Championship at Into the Fire. And I think it's because it was funny because David Marquez actually asked her, was this sanctioned by the NWA? She said, no, I sanctioned it because I said so. And she walked off. And it was like, okay. But eventually the NWA actually granted her the title match. So it will happen. Not really for certain as to when, but more than likely the guess is on another episode of NWA Power. So if not there, then quite possibly at the Crockett Cup.
Right on. Okay, well, let's finish up with the Ring of Honor news. They're bringing back the Pure title. For those of you who follow Ring of Honor and you know about the Pure title, very quickly, here's some of the rules involved with that. Closed fist punches are illegal. Each competitor is allowed 3 rope breaks to stop submission holds and pinfalls during the match. After that, pinfalls and submissions on or under the ropes are completely legal. So it's going to be, I guess, like an 8-man tournament or something like that. It says first round matches will take place night 1 in Columbus, Ohio, and then night 2 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we'll see. Very quickly, past ROH Pure champions go as follows. The very first Pure champion was AJ Styles. Then he followed up with Doug Williams, John Walters, Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe, Nigel McGuinness, and then the man that won it last, who then unified it with the Ring of Honor title, Bryan Danielson. I was about to call him Branton. I don't even know what. I was like, that is not his name.
And by the way, who the hell is Bryan Danielson? I've never heard of that guy.
Oh, if you watch the Bellas, you'd know.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that guy.
Oh, yeah, it's D-Bry. Oh, I gave it away.
It's D-Bry. D-Bry. Get it right.
Got that D-Bry life. So you were talking to some NWA. There's some stuff going down. You want to talk about what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Marty Scurll, the executive and...
The head fucking booker.
The head man in charge at ROH.
Wow.
Who is looking to make some changes, very, very significant changes. Basically doing a reset to the NWA and is looking to change some things. But before he does that, and while he does have, not before he does that. While he has that going on, he actually has an upcoming encounter with one NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis at the Crockett Cup. Last week on NWA Power, Nick Aldis sat down with Marty Scurll, telling him basically, you're nobody, or you're my friend, and you know we're really great friends, but I beat you already, so I have nothing to prove. Well, Marty Scurll just ended up telling Nick that I just want one more chance. I need one more chance. Well, Nick Aldis said, well, I'm a betting man and I'm the gambling man and I'm the dealer and I'm the one that basically sets the stipulation. The stipulation that he set was he said that if Marty loses, he has to refund every single person that comes to the Crockett Cup. By the way, we have no idea where the hell the Crockett Cup is at. There is no set location yet. So there are no tickets on sale. So Marty said, yes, I'll pay everybody's ticket if that's the case. So this past weekend at Free Enterprise, which was a free pay-per-view on Fight TV, Marty Scurll and PCO actually defeated Nick Aldis and Roosh, as you like to call him.
Roosh.
No, that's his name. Roosh.
Love it.
They defeated him, and after the match, Marty Scurll I don't really know if this is a counter stipulation, but according to Marty Scurll, it is a counter stipulation to Nick Aldis. He said that if Marty wins, he wins the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. If Nick Aldis wins, he will write a check. I don't know anybody who writes checks anymore.
Right?
He said he will write a check for $500,000 to Nick Aldis.
What the fuck? Why? What the hell?
Because if he can defeat him, then that just proves he's worth that much money. By the way, if you look at Nick Aldis's contract, he is not making that much a year in the NWA.
I don't think anybody in the NWA would be making that.
Exactly.
There's like
the NWA. So what Marty Scurll is doing is that he is basically telling him, I want to say that he's telling him, you aren't worth this $500,000. You asked me, okay, tell me what you think.
You got to refresh me one time.
I go, okay, is Nick Aldis worth the $500,000 as a wrestler?
Oh gosh. Okay. If I'm NWA, absolutely. If I'm any other promotion with more publicity, nope. Sorry.
Do you know the name of that Nick Aldis actually went under at in
TNA? Magnus.
TNA? Yes. Okay, so
I'm very much aware that he is Magnus. I am very much aware of his past doings, but again, and now let's be fucking honest here for a moment. Nobody can remember Magnus. But now almost everybody wants to try to remember Nick Aldis. Do you see what I'm getting at here?
No. And that was it. You went exactly the direction that I was going to say, that I was going to make. Nick Aldis is, as he calls himself, the national treasure. I say he is actually branding himself as an individual who people want to go see. Because it's not that he's a great wrestler, but he is a very, very wise entertainer.
I can completely agree with that.
I didn't say he was a great wrestler. I said he is a wise entertainer.
Yes, entertainer being the operative.
And that's exactly what he's doing, is that he is entertaining the crowd. He is playing to the crowd. He is playing up the crowd. And he is doing all he can to make everybody else around him that much better and work that much harder, which is very much the counterbalance minus the flamboyancy of one, and I give it to you, woo! Ric Flair.
Agreed. He can cut him. So, do we got anything else for NWA before we move on?
No, I have nothing now. I'm just going to get on the next episode of power soon enough.
Right on. So then before we end it here, I like to do a little bit of indie stuff. And you know what? There's no bigger indie thing going on right now than Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. If you know anything about PWG, and trust me, a few of these people in the RWT group know a little bit. So what they do is, because they're stationed in LA, they're based in LA, and with the passing of Kobe, they decided, and I want to say this has been a name before. I swear they've named a show before Kobe, but now for sure it's named after the former LA Laker Kobe Bryant. Just the show named Kobe. It's going to be taking place March 29th at the Globe Theater, their newest home, the first event of the year for PWG. And I'm quickly just going to go through the card. And some people you're going to know, others you're going to say who. And trust me, there's a couple of there's a couple names on here that I say who. But the upside about that is 9 times out of 10, these awesome workers then go on to be like the great dudes that you want signed to your company later on, like a Bandito, like a Jeff Cobb, like a Dragon Lee. So let me get into this here. We have the Velo Cities. We have the team of Jude London and Paris De Silva taking on the team of Armis and Ray Horace. Some of you may know him as what the fuck was his goddamn name in Lucha Underground? He was the Green Mask dude. I can't remember the name right now. I'm blanking. Dragon Azteca Jr. Bam. Just remembered it. Okay. Speaking of Lucha Underground people, Jeff Cobb is going to take on David Starr. Then you got Orange Cassidy taking on Mick Mortelli. Or Morty. I don't know where the hell I got an L. Then we have JD Drake taking on Brody King, taking on Black Taurus versus Caveman Ugg. Black Taurus, Caveman Ugg, guys working from the CMLL dojo, if you will. They're fucking great. They're crazy, but they're great. Then in a killer match, just off the names alone, you got Dragon Lee against Flamita. Should just be insane. Then you have a 6-man tag, Blake Christian, Tony Dempin, and Alex Zane taking on the Rascals, which is the team of Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Desmond Xavier. And then the PWG World Title match, the World Champion Bandito takes on Jonathan Gresham. Interesting card. The downside with PWG, it's either you go to it or you don't know much. And unless you decide you want to spend like $20+ on Blu-ray, which I don't blame you because I've done so myself, that's the only real way you're going to watch them. So check them out, ProWrestlingGuerrilla.com. Awesome shit. And let us finish with, well, the thing we're working on as of late, and that's the Extreme Show. I just quickly want to go into the ratings that it caused in the first week, just to I guess reiterate to people how big of a deal XFL really could be. Now, I will say that the AAF did average, I want to say, over 4 million viewers in the first week. Now, mind you, they also had like 4 games all on Sunday. We didn't get 2 quick ones and then 2 quick ones. I love that schedule. I fucking like it. Doesn't overpower you with football. You're not complaining, I'm missing these teams. I'm missing that teams. You get 2 games.
But you're also not complaining like, oh my God, I got to flip back and forth from this game to that game. Oh no, I got to watch that game.
That's also way better.
This game. And that's what makes it different, is that you could watch a game at 11 a.m., which is the time that it starts. Then, by the time that game is over, you got about a half-hour lull between that game and the next game. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now I got time between this game to that game. And you're not, oh my God, I got to flip back and forth. Oh man, I missed that play. Oh, I got to watch that again. Oh, I got to watch that again. And it's great. I think by having this many teams, I'm hoping if it gets past year 3, I'm hoping if it gets past season 3, we get into at least 4 seasons down the line. Mm-hmm. They add 4 more teams, which will give you 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday.
And you just do a morning game.
And you just do like a morning, like a, I guess
morning, like 10 a.m.
Yeah, but if it's on the East Coast, you do a noon game on the East Coast.
Okay, I fuck with that.
And on the West Coast in the evening. You know, that's
Yeah,
that's
you
how
accommodate it to the area.
Yeah, exactly. You accommodate to the area. You do what you need to do, but I think this is building. You know, and they can stick with 8 teams. They can stick with the 8 teams that they have and continually build and build and build and, you know, get more and more suitable players to come in and be like, oh, hey, I want to play there now too. I don't have to play just, you know, September to September to January. You know, I could play February to, you know, however long they want to do this, you know, but I believe it's 10 weeks. So February to April, maybe even into March.
Yeah, so we'll see as it goes along, but let's get into these ratings very quickly. So for the first game that was on ABC Saturday early afternoon, garnered a 3.3 million viewer rating with a 2.0 broadcast rating. And then for the Fox game, which was the LA Wildcats against the Houston Roughnecks, 3.29 million to a 1.91 rating. Sunday's game, which surprisingly had the highest household rating at 2.10, went 3.385 for Tampa Bay and New York Guardians, which I thought that game was going to suck. And it didn't suck, but people were sure watching the shit out of it. And then the final game Sunday night was the Battlehawks against the Renegades. And on ESPN, they did 2.49, and you may think that's really low with a 1.43 household. But mind you, ESPN is in about 30% less of the total audience.
Yeah, because it didn't show on ABC. It showed on ESPN, which is a parent company of ESPN. And all I'm saying is that, you know, when on Saturday it showed on ABC, and I get why it didn't show on ABC also, because it was in direct competition with the Oscars. So you had the Oscars that were going on in LA, in Hollywood. Yeah. You know, so maybe this Sunday it's switched up.
We'll
see.
You know,
now they'll actually broadcast it on both.
It's a possibility. Like I said, we'll see how it all goes. But I will say this very quickly. The ESPN number was the highest number they've had. It's higher than any UFC broadcast that is ever done. And it, I guess it beat out most NBA games in better time slots, according to the report I have here. So that's it. That's all the news we got. We went through fucking every fucking thing. Even talked a little XFL. So, Paul, let's get the hell out of here. Let's hit him with some plugs.
All right, man. Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same name, RWT_Deadman. You find anything interesting, of course, that has to deal with the news of the day in wrestling, or you just have anything that you just want to plug, of course, tag me in it. Of course, send it to me. I will promise to share it on my Instagram stories. And, of course, I will retweet it on Twitter anytime you need me to do that. Of course, Mr. Moses Marquez, take us home.
Take us home, indeed, as they say. You can catch us everywhere on all platforms of social media at SMRPodNet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out the Anchor page, anchor.fm/SMRPodNet. For those of you who followed us way back in the day on SoundCloud, the lovely soundcloud.com/SmartMarkRadio. It's back. It's fucking back. As of right now, it is full of the updated list of all the retro rewinds. It will soon be full up with everything that's going down, so everybody on SoundCloud can get caught up. So for right now, if you're just slacking on the retros, maybe SoundCloud's your easier spot. We're just trying to be at every single platform possible to make it easier for you guys to listen to us. So, with all that being said, remember, if you ever want to be on an episode of the SMR News, Moan the Dead Man, Retro Rewind, whatever, hit us up, SmartMarkRadio at 619. Sorry, SmartMarkRadio619 at gmail.com. Let us know. We'll schedule a date. We'll hook yous up. So, we'll get on out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the two past solo shows, because we got a whole lot of Mo and Paul coming at you over the weekend and next week. So, with all that being said, we're going to get out of here. We'll catch y'all around the bend. There's going to be a XFL review dropping later. Catch y'all later. Peace out.
That'll be
SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.